الشنطة والحاجة ورا جنب.
احسن احسن. شكرا. الله يسلمك. كلامنا الاستماع. حتى الاخوان جايين هنا هي موجود هنا بس appreciate the opportunities to collaborate, to engage with key opinion leaders. واعتقد انه association increase يعني our accessibility to physicians and allow us more and more to engage in a way that eventually going to help your patients and
your engagement isn't new, so making a celebration about it is nice, but we've been doing this for a very long time. And I have to be honest, we're very thankful for your collaboration throughout these years. So it's been going on for a while. I think it's a win-win situation. How will we put it? From our side, definitely we support whatever project we have approved is going well defined. And I think the hopes are much, much higher than we can achieve, but we'll try to achieve a solution. I'm not sure if we're going to have an opportunity to meet in Jeddah in 2 weeks. It's a big meeting. So it's pretty big. If you're around, you're very welcome to attend. And it's a nice opportunity to see everybody. Honestly, I think the whole country's gastroenterologists gathering that meeting. It's a big deal. Last year was something around like 400 gastroenterologists. Not even talking. The attendees were about 1,000. Between internists, family physicians, residents, the gastroenterologists were around 400 or so. We're expecting this year even a larger number just because of Jeddah, because it's close by. So a lot of people come over just for that reason. So I think it's a nice opportunity just to see how people are talking and the level of representation internationally has. It's gained a lot of interest. So we have a number of people.
First and second of March.
It's a weekend. Yes.
That's really great. And just to highlight, what we trying to do this year is only a start, and we are aiming really for the future as well. Because what's coming from the IBD, especially the IBD indication, we have a lot of successful stories we are going to add to tools. So I'm quite sure that this type of collaboration will be just a starting point for us. And we are aiming also to hear from your side how we can improve this partnership. It's not only about services and support. We need to go beyond this towards the patient focus, which we find it's really a big gap here in whole Middle East with a special focus to the GCC. That we need to have a real patient associations that can really reflect on their way of thinking, how they feel, where they get, and how we can have those right collaborations and the add value of what we are trying to provide is really focus on the patient's values. And I'm quite sure you can play a critical role in this.
That's the hope. Honestly, we've started the initial patient support group with the celiac disease, and they've grown pretty strong to the degree that they split off. Now they're under the auspice of the social affairs, the social affairs ministry. They have their own group. It's headed by a royal princess. She's heading the group. They're doing very well on their own. So they split off, and we're happy to take our hands off and just support them scientifically. جمعية حساسية القمح. حساسية القمح طلعت مجموعة مرة قوية. تراسها أميرة صاحبة سوق بس ما أدري وش اسمها.
It's always the first push. It's support a lot.
Yeah, just till they grow up and they take care of their own stuff. We can take care of the scientific part, but some of the stuff like accessibility to care, discounted foods, and all that stuff is beyond the scope of the association per se. So we just support them till they grow up and split off. The same thing has been starting with the IBD group. So they do have their groups. We're supporting them scientifically. We've signed an agreement with the signing part with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America to translate all of their material. We translate their material to Arabic. They use it in their country for Arabic-speaking patients. And then hopefully that's going pretty well. We also have big website that we're working on
IBD
now.
Guide is one of the partnerships that it's mainly in memorandum of understanding, that we have the first time IBD Guide website targeting patient in Arabic. It will be the first IBD website targeting the patient. In addition, also our partnership in these flyers targeting for education in Arabic also to be the first in the region, not only in Saudi Arabia, but in the first in the region. In addition to that, we are the society or association is planning to start the guidelines in IBD. In addition to the registry with GTAID, we had our first meeting in the last standalone in April with GTAID head, which is Prof. Bayrin with Dr. Faisal and the group. They started to discuss how we can collaborate between Saudi Arabia and GTAID in France about initiating this registry. Also initiating an educational videos for the patient, like videos targeting the patient. It's not new, but we are collaborating to initiate around 4 videos in this one for this year. This one our targeting. Sponsoring that club like this one and the one in Jeddah. It's not new one, but having this approach in all activities as well as our participation in the annual congress. It's not only with our commercial approach, but also with sponsoring attendees from all over GCC to attend this event.
We're usually not this luxurious, so this is the first time here. So but it's a nice beginning. I think people are going to be happy about this new venue. We were stuck in the Sheraton for a while.
Yes, because it's a monthly meeting here in Riyadh, the SGA GAT Club, but it used to be in Sheraton. So because it's a new hotel, it's the first time to be in Hilton this time.
Parking there is horrible, so we have to.
Yes, I take round. Yes.
No, there's belly parking.
Yeah, this is beautiful. So compared to there, it was horrible. And then this GAT Club has been going on for, I don't know, I wouldn't be exaggerating if I said 20 years, if not more.
I heard about that. I was not here, but I heard
neither was I, but it's been here for like ages.
I can tell you since we have repulsed in the past. So I have this gastro association meetings since like
it's been
yes,
very
and it
long
was there. So, but it's most properly it's related to areas. So it's Eastern Province, South, and
we've got currently we've got the East, Riyadh, Qasim, Mecca, Jeddah, and we're trying to get one running up in Abu. So these are running monthly, simultaneously each and every region. So our approach to the not just IBD, we're talking about gastroenterological diseases. We're stratifying our strategies to patient-oriented outcomes, practitioners, general practitioners, specialists, gastroenterologists. And we've been ticking it up a bit now. We're working in collaboration with the Saudi Health Council and hopefully bringing up front people's agendas and needs so we can serve the healthcare system all in all. Because honestly, I think access to care is the most pressing issue. And even when it comes to biologics, that's where the challenge is for patients. Even those who are insured do struggle to get their medications on insurance.
Yes, and also in addition to regional meeting, it's a quarter meeting. I think it's newly
good.
initiated 1 year or 2 years back.
Every quarter we move the whole team to one city and do a mini type of symposium for 1 day.
Yes, and we are sponsoring for April, 21st of April also, and we thank the SGA that's endorsing our standalone. For it will be endorsed our last 2 standalones under the umbrella of Saudi Gastro Association. So thanks a lot.
To manage with regard to the patient outcomes piece for the strategies, are you thinking to establish patient support groups here for the IBD patients?
We already have one up and running now. They have a website, they have an app. But we've been feeding them with the...
That's my IBD app.
Yes,
So, yeah.
So بالعربي it's called My IBD.
Yes.
I don't know what they call it.
دكتور بس كلمت يعني I just was talking with Dr. Fahd last week about this support group. He told me we need to reinitiate, we need to focus.
We want to take it over.
And I will drop an email for EFCA group in European Crohn's and Colitis Organization. Drop an email how we can collaborate to initiate this and reactivate this one. This group again.
We supported them initially at the beginning. They were doing fine. Then the thing dwindled down. People are going to have to take it back again. So But anyway, you have to give them that leverage that they take care of their own stuff. Otherwise, they'll never grow. Some stuff we can help, but some stuff is beyond our scope.
This is one of our focus also is the patient-related outcomes, how we can, as a company, support in this part.
You have to have the patient voice as well. What are the needs, the focus, because it's differently like, sometimes it's an overlapping focus, and sometimes it's also at different focus points. So I think this one would be a good start. So is there like a contact point for these patient support groups, or is it just interacting with the app?
Nahla is dwelling to them very heavily, so she would know.
Yeah.
There is a person, but they don't have a organized body yet.
Yeah.
So there's no, it's just a group of interested people.
Yeah. So we can continue our discussion instead of.
لا خلاص الصلاة عشان الصلاة بس ما تبي نفصل هذه قبل الصلاة نكمل براحتك يعني بس مع الفصل. لأن عادة بعد الصلاة يبدأ القتل. أوكي. خلاص.
You want to give everybody a brief عن المemorandum?
Yes. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for attending this meeting. The main objective of this ceremony to sign a memorandum of understanding between Saudi Gastro Association and Johnson & Johnson Middle East. The main objective is for this one to raise and increase the awareness about inflammatory bowel disease. So we'd like to thank Dr. Maged. This memorandum of understanding, it's a bundle and holistic approach with different activity, including our partnership, our participation in the annual Congress of, as a golden sponsor with the Saudi Gastro Association, also including our participation in the registry and guidelines creation for IBD for the first time here in Saudi Arabia, participation in some digital activities like in creation and establishment of IBD Guide, the first Arabic IBD website targeting the patient, and 4 videos targeting the patient in IBD also as an educational activity for these patients. Through also the partnership and the collaboration with GTAID, which is a French association trying to initiate to partner between SGA and GTAID in this one. So it's a lot of activity for long-term partnership. We value this partnership, and we'd like again to thank you, Dr. Prof. Maged, for giving this opportunity to be your partner and as the first company to partner in this one. Thank you. Just a brief.
So again, I'll just reiterate and thank you very much for the opportunity to make this official. But as I said, this has been going on for a very long time, and I think it's a natural continuation of what's happening anyway. And if anything, honestly, I think what we are signing today is going to be more than localized to the country, but it's going to have a ripple effect to the whole region. Providing material in Arabic has been a challenge, and we feel that challenge with our patients, with our encounters, with our industry, when we talk about who's answering the questions, and filling that gap between the patient and the healthcare provider. Although the interaction is usually minuted, like 10 minutes you interact in the clinic, but I think there's a big chunk that we can offload to newer electronic systems and communication media that would fill that gap, hopefully, and create a culture that patients take control of their disease rather than their physicians guiding them throughout, or dictating their management rather than make a better approach of guiding them through their treatment options. So again, thank you very much for coming over. Thank you very much for the support, and we look forward to a very fruitful future.
Thank you, Dr. Maged, and on behalf of Johnson & Johnson and especially Janssen Pharmaceutical, would like to take this opportunity to thank you. I just would like to emphasize that this particular activity and similar ones goes in line with our credo, where it gives us the chance to really live our credo, where the patient and the community and the doctor and the community comes in the first priority for the company. We hope this collaboration and more engagement with the society will help to reach more patients. More patients will benefit from innovative products introduced by Janssen. And we wish you all the best with this agreement. So thank you so much.
Second.
Take a group photo.
This one.
Let's have one for the board members first.
This one. السرعة تحلى بس لو زودت الابتسامة خفيفة.
ضرب نفط الاتفاقية.
لا.
أشكركم.
One more
So for everybody.
the whole team, yeah, please.
حقيقة الشباب يعني تواجدوا ما شاء الله.
ابدا واجب يلا شوي.
Thank you for coming over.
So our figures tonight to have KSMC do run the activity of our pet club. We're going to present to you 3 cases if we have time. We run out of time, we'll present the 2 cases. This case will be presented by Dr. Saeed Al-Tamimi, who is our fellow, and will be supervised by Dr. Saeed Al-Zubairi. So we can start.
So today we will have to start with this interesting case. We made this examination short and concise to give a space for discussion. So our patient is a 39 years old man who is not known to have any chronic illness. He is not known to have any chronic illness. Presented to the emergency room with a history of jaundice for the past 10 days before his visitation, after sensing the jaundice. The jaundice was associated with fatigue and was mild itchiness, and also he has a dark urine and pale stool as well. There was no abdominal pain or distension, no fever or change of level of consciousness. He had no other GI symptoms. He's not using any medication or any new medication was introduced, and also no history of never use. There was no similar illness before or previous hospitalization for the patient. He is single, non smoker, no history of alcohol ingestion, IV drug use or sexual contact. There was no similar presentation in his family, and there is no inherited disease in his family as well. Other systems were unremarked. So shortly for the physical exam. So the examination, he was deeply jaundiced, but not pale. He was conscious to time and place in person. His hemodynamics and vital signs were stable. There was no lymphadenopathy. There was no stigmata of chronic liver disease in the examination. His abdomen shows no tenderness, organomegaly or ascites. His cardiovascular and respiratory exam were normal. He has no lower limb edema. So we'll summarize shortly for you the case. He's a 39 years old man who is not known to have any chronic illness, presented with a history of jaundice for the last 10 days, associated with mild itchiness, dark urine and pale stool as well. Physical examination showed only jaundice without any, deeply jaundice without any signs of chronic liver disease.
So, good evening. Just finishing the history and examination and question, what would you like to ask?
Your history of travel?
Recent travel.
So he denies that.
What nationality?
He's a Saudi man.
Saudi.
Yes. You said no medication, but did you give a history about herbal?
We mentioned that. There's no
Nothing at all.
Actually, we sit different time. This guy for this
Sometimes
issue
you know.
particularly, but there is no.
The dating can be up to 6 months, so you need to really to get the good history and lead them back to up to 6 months.
You are right. Really, it's very important. We sit with that guy for this issue particularly, but he denies that. Any question? Testify.
Any weight loss?
Weight loss.
good question.
As far as the presentation, no clear history, but later on we will see.
Alcoholism?
No, he denies it. Alcohol, smoker. So you can go and see the lab.
So showing his labs, the basic labs of the WBCs of all the labs initially will be remarkable. We can see his hemoglobin and platelets and his iron. Also the basic chemistry, blood glucose and renal function, and the basic electrolytes were normal. So going for his liver function, initially his the AST was normal and ALT was 350, around 350, and the alkaline phosphatase around 300. His bilirubin diet was 270, and the total was 330. Albumin was normal. So he has hyperbilirubinemia, mainly direct hyperbilirubinemia, and also has elevated ALT. So we can see that this one was initially a mixed picture, but hepatic and cholestatic picture, using the RR ratio, so it's merely mixed picture. So ultrasound abdomen was initially done for this patient. It shows normal sized liver with normal echogenicity, with no lesions. There was no gallstones, and also normal CVD without intrahepatic biliary dilatation. Gallbladder also, initial gallbladder was normal without any stones.
About pancreas?
The pancreas was normal.
So with the history and examination, with the acute presentation, as you mentioned, jaundice, that significantly is a jaundice. Just to ask the fellow to say, that's what's going on, and what's the possible differential.
Liver function tests show mixed picture. So we think first, commonly it's first viral hepatitis for this patient.
So this is going with a mixed hepatitis, so mixed disease. So first of all, I mentioned that could be viral.
Can be viral hepatitis.
Okay, so anybody, he didn't know about the case, sure.
He didn't know that.
But he didn't know about the case. But anybody can share about that could be the differential diagnosis.
Yeah, he has dark urine, pale stool. We have to think of intrahepatic cholestasis. Even no dilatation, but still maybe mixed parenchymal and intrahepatic.
So you're right, it's intrahepatic cholestasis. What about extrahepatic?
Yeah,
Possible or not?
No, intrahepatic,
Intrahepatic.
not extrahepatic. CBD normal and there is no dilatation.
Okay. So ultrasound saying that's normal. Initially, we can rule out the extrahepatic causes, meaning obstructive jaundice.
Yeah.
So it's still that dark urine veil could be with obstructive, could be with intrahepatic cholestasis. But according to the radiology or ultrasound at minimum, then extrahepatic may rule out. What else?
Usually in the LFT you have to look at the liver function in a pattern, in a sequence. Have we got any LFT before this or after this, just to see the pattern going up or coming down?
We will see later, but this is the first presentation and he is not known to us. And the first time to visit a hospital.
Infiltrative process is to be kept.
Yes, one of the possibility is infiltrative disease. What else?
A mixed picture of cholestasis and maybe overlap syndrome and cholestasis.
So we're thinking about the autoimmune liver disease. So could be, this picture could be autoimmune, but it's not maybe overlapped by something, or maybe autoimmune progressive to cholestatic illness. Okay, what else? Bad, things.
I think here we're dealing with hepatic jaundice mainly, which means the post-hepatic jaundice is this likely in this patient, although we have to consider also that the abdominal ultrasound is operator dependent and it's not that sensitive for distal CBD stone. So mainly hepatic jaundice, but we have to consider also post-hepatic jaundice. So we have to think for the primary liver diseases, acute viral hepatitis, and autoimmune liver diseases, and drug-induced liver injury will be at the top of my differential diagnosis.
So, meaning still obstructive jaundice is possible?
Yeah, possible,
no
degree.
It's possible, but less likely to be.
Yes.
Drugs, I agree with you. Still, if he denies that somebody is taking antibiotics for, say, 6 months or something, and he forget about that, and he thought it's not related. But drugs still possible.
What is the globulin?
Sorry?
Globulin.
Globulin. About the first one, I think and usually we didn't have EGT in
Globulin, just to see whether there is hyperglobulinemia.
I mean, that's the further investigation, human immunoglobulin will see. This is only the ER, meaning the basic lab. Okay, right?
Primary cholecystitis can be a possible case, fatigue. So he is the main, this against the it is possible. Itching, fatigue, and it is mixed picture is possible also.
So mainly primary sclerosis.
Primary cholecystitis.
It's primary sclerosis cholecystitis. However, this is acute presentations. Maybe he has something a long time and now became with advanced or prominent destructions. This is also even primary biliary cirrhosis. Jaundice that's meaning be advanced. Usually it may have symptoms and later on if you consider it he has advanced disease. However, he denies any history.
Metabolic disease also like Wilson disease.
Yes, you're right. He's still young.
Cardiac and infectious also. Sepsis can give the same picture and cardiac sometimes also.
He cardiac denies he's still young and risk factor. You mean infectious? I would consider me HIV is possible here.
Against Wilson diseases, the AST is low, alkaline phosphatase is high. Usually AST is high, alkaline phosphatase is low or even low. So this speaks against Wilson. The other thing is the filtrative process also is likely because gamma is also low. Ordinary it's not that high. Why the AST is 53 is high? For me, it's just a please.
Yes, and even according to the
According to our lab, it's considered, but usually
Well,
you are right.
there's this relation between AST and ALT.
yes, that's what we get from initially. But you are right, but according to our lab, it is normal. When it's about the standard, it is high.
So what he's doing, what's his job?
He's actually like a businessman. Exactly. But yeah, I think.
Can you say the mic, please?
Yes, he's from exactly Winnendaal, but I think in the middle of Riyadh.
Can you look for the mic?
Sorry, I think the mic won't work. It doesn't work. So, more or less, I think we went over the possible differential diagnosis. Now we will go to the
So the patient preferred the AR, the patient preferred a discharge home and have a close follow-up in the clinic. So actually we given a wait after 1 week, but unfortunately he showed up after 4 weeks in the clinic, and the jaundice has progressed, and he has pruritus and fatigability, which more increasing, and also he has undoculated weight loss, as the doctor she's asked for. The physical examination was the same as initial presentation, but he has more excretion marks, and there was in the lower leg, the abdomen, and also the trunk. So the investigation in the clinic at that time shows his labs was almost the same for the CBC. It was unremarkable. And for the liver function, we can see that the AST is almost the same, the ALT is normalized, and the alkaline phosphatase is increasing from the last one. The MGT is 45. You can see that the direct bilirubin is increasing along with the total, and then is still normal, and the LDH is normal. We go for time frame just to compare. The 10 days after starting the jaundice, this was his liver function.
This is the initial presentation, first time.
And after 40 days, when he showed up in the clinic, this is the labs.
What was the result between viral autoimmune, known as the...
This is the LFTs, comparing the cases, and the second time we in our clinic. So, any thoughts what's going on? Now, normalized transaminase while progressive and have jaundice. Now it's pure cholestatic mixture. So,
RCP. What was the result of the initial work?
Okay, so show that.
So this is his labs. So the ANA showed it was significant positive. Anti-smooth muscles, we have the screen one was positive. Anti-mitochondrial antibody was negative. For the hepatitis workup was negative. Immunoglobulin, as asked by the doctors, globulin subclass were normal. And for hepatitis A and hepatitis E was not available at that time. And also hepatitis C was negative. HIV was negative. Cytoplasmin was normal. And ferritin was elevated.
Any comment?
So now, see now this is going down with the cholestatic picture. The important thing is finding we have strongly positive autoimmune markers. So how can we make that evidence?
Autoimmune cholangiopathology, autoimmune cholangitis,
Autoimmune.
overlapping with autoimmune hepatitis.
So now we're going with possible variants for autoimmune. This is overlap syndrome, possibility with primary sclerosis or primary biliary cirrhosis. This is what we think with this presentation.
I would go for liver biopsy to exclude small bile duct disease. Because for autoimmune cholangitis, there are no liver enzymes elevated. I mean, S-GOT and CPT are normal.
So you are right, because maybe progress, because initially there's a high LFTs or transaminase, usually maybe sometime maybe progress to cholestatic pictures. So, or maybe there is like your primary sclerosis or your biliary cirrhosis, possibly.
What about transferrin saturation?
So it's not a major risk. We calculate it is less than 45. We consider this as acute phase reactive with the presentation of the initial just 10 days we have received. We consider maybe have a fire or hepatitis or scanning surgery.
Soluble liver activity.
Sorry?
Soluble liver activity.
We didn't have. That's what we have now. Even ANA and asthma, we send it outside. It came after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. However, the asthma is not qualitative, it's quantitative one. So now it's
differential what blood count, just to know the pattern.
Sorry?
The differential what blood count, polymorphs and plasma.
Actually, it seemed normal. It seemed normal, nothing there. Even the peripheral smear we sent that time it was normal.
So why not? Because I think it was lymphomas or things.
I missed the first part. Any ultrasound there? Or
Yes, it's a normal ultrasound. Yes. So what will you do now? What do you think?
ALT was very high to start with. It's almost 2 times. So roughly it's already been out autoimmune. So it really burned out the cells. That's why the ALT came back and the bilirubin is going down. The only things I know is still holding, which is not going good. So I burned out autoimmune. With a normal ultrasound, totally normal. So I'm not going to say this is a cholestatic, but as I had mentioned, the possibility of primary sclerosing, I'm not sure.
Especially the ultrasound, but you will see now on RCB. But I agree with you. Really, I was panicked initially when I saw. It was panic really when I saw that maybe as we're dealing with burnout fevers or just another disease and progress. That's why that we admit for the issue that now albumin is still maintained. That's may make us. Meaning it's not that serious anymore. I'm not likely to be burned out with this situation.
So the patient was admitted from the clinic to the hospital for further investigation. So we showed an RCT for the patient. So there was no evidence of intrahepatic or extrahepatic biliary dilatation or abnormalities. So there was picture of adenomyomatosis of the gallbladder.
So RCB more or less is normal. We discussed with the radiologist. Adenomyomatosis is not at all the reason for it.
It's expected to be normal. The ultrasound is very clear.
No, but sometimes really face sometimes ultrasound normal, and then it doesn't rule out completely.
Yeah. But it will not show us. We suspect highly suspicion of biliary cirrhosis or BC or BSC, primary sclerosis. I don't know.
But is the sensitivity of ultrasound from RCT for BSC?
Yeah.
Are they the same?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it can show.
But I agree. We talk about very high bilirubin, which is related by obstruction. I would say ultrasound enough. We're talking about just PEC with a normal bilirubin, then I totally agree. Once is needed. So, but at least it's not obstructive levels based on ultrasound with this high bilirubin.
So now it's AMP is negative.
So what is next?
So AMP is negative. I think may or may not still primary be cirrhosis because we didn't have a specific ANA.
You need to put the mouse or I think it's
ultrasound,
lymphoma or
even we didn't see nothing. So what do you think about that?
Liver biopsy?
Liver biopsy.
All of them agree for the liver biopsy. Yes.
Who don't agree?
So we did the colonoscopy as this patient just
It went down.
Yeah.
Because we didn't
Ideally, يعني 4 weeks you should have at least hepatitis A. Hepatitis A, according to you, is still not available. يعني you cannot go صراحة to liver biopsy without hepatitis A. We definitely need it. But I agree with that.
And hepatitis should also.
No, at least hepatitis A.
So
Someone who is
in our hospital, you have hepatitis B, C, beta, I mean, easier than hepatitis A or D. So this is the liver biopsy.
So this is the liver biopsy. Minimal lymphocytic infiltrations with some portal tracts and with no gut damage. There was moderate hepatic and communal cholestasis with minimal inflammation. Amostin was negative, Caberstein wasn't available. So reticular pattern was normal, and trichoma shows focal portal fibrosis with some tripe, and this was a mild one. And was the conclusion of the pathologist was cholestatic liver with mild gut damage and for clinical correlation, and we classify the cholestasis as a moderate to severe.
So now, who did meaning the really make me confused now is the liver biopsy, to be honest. Yes, and I try to sit with the call in time the histopathologist to give us a specific, impression. He could just describe what he saw in the slide. So now, really, I cannot exclude by the spine primary biliary cirrhosis, the cholestasis, the ectopenia, even focal fibrosis. I don't know, primary biliary cirrhosis, small duct. Really, it's not a clear biopsy. So really, it's confusing me now.
Did you sit with the patient and use history again? History of medication, drugs,
Really, I sit with even with his brothers, and I told him, may he deny something, please let me know, because really I'm struggling. What's going on? So they deny again. So we select one LFTs while he's in hospital and admission, and after admission day, in between, really still bilirubin is raising. Now it's 800, and while the albumin now became low, but the INR is still low. There is no encephalopathy, no amyling aside. So any solution? So already at this point we start also because even have 18 we start in cholesterol at the same time. So
did you search for other viruses like CMV, Epstein-Barr?
Well, this is what's in, but unfortunately, as you know, we did get simple hepatitis A and E. But anyway, we send that one. Yes, definitely. Yes. Okay.
But what is symptomatic?
Yes. Deeply jaundiced. It's 100. It is 800. Definitely, it is deeply jaundiced and featuring this obviously scratch mark and other in the abdomen. So now, simply we are with progressive jaundice while nearby the normalization of transaminase. So with strongly positive ANA and asthma. So
steroid.
So really,
some people saying steroids.
What's going on? Still we didn't see nothing clearly at this point. But steroid, why steroids? What do you think? For
treating what?
Immune.
He's already started also and cholesterol. We help with the cholestatic. But what do you think? Why steroid? What's the indication? Autoimmune. But the biopsy is really again it is not a typical. Even we have a criteria specific for offer labs. Even modified autoimmune we didn't reach. Just we reach around 4 points, which is alike autoimmune. Even overlap primary biliary autoimmune we have by this criteria we didn't reach that overlap. So everything is not reached really the ideal criteria to
How do you explain the positive area and
Sorry?
how do you explain the positive
There's
area?
IgG.
IgG is normal, but later on we can explain why antinuclear. But anyway, to be this is could be normal. With a normal patient, may have 40-50% you have ANA asthma. Basically, maybe is it as we told, autoimmune chronic liver disease? It is coexisting with the something.
IgG4 cholangitis. You measure IgG4.
It's really we ask for that is normal.
With the same token, the audience may ask, why give cholestyramine and oxalic acid? Did he improve his itching?
We thought that may going with overlap, like primary biliary, still we cannot rule out AMA negative primary cirrhosis. It can help initially.
Especially imaging and the molecular still possible for further disease. What is the imaging of the CT CAT?
So already we have a CT biopsy. It's a normal. However, the biopsy may show that. It's, proceed, please.
Okay, how much time? So hepatitis A was an old sample with crystal cyst on it, and it came to be positive.
So, so this is we told from the beginning, really, even when we saw how many are, because usually in a chemist you are familiar really with such case. See, but the issue why we in this dilemma. Why the dilemma? Because the strong positive asthma and NA. That's why they really make us to think deeply. However, the lab, if they give us earlier, they will not go for really deep in this. So we thought this is acute hepatitis. But anyway, it is not atypical. Also with this sky-high jaundice with hepatitis A.
Just one comment. Sometimes after the clearance of the hepatitis A virus, later on, within 6 months, they can go to autoimmune. So maybe this can explain what's going on in this patient. An infection, then he relapsed to an autoimmune hepatitis.
So we know there is like a 5% in a complication with hepatitis A with prolonged cholestatic, which is around 800, sky high bilirubin, which is one of the complications. As you call, relapsing is one of the complications, but now we are going with, dealing with prolonged cholestatic hepatitis A. However, as you know, that as you see, that the histopathological really make us our life difficult, and also the autoimmune. We cannot say that in hepatitis we didn't have a result and stop on that.
Okay, so we reviewed the biopsy for second opinion because of hospital, and the state should appreciate normal picture of the biopsy, and tracheotomy we have mild portal fibrosis as same as King Surgical City. Also the central vein was clear, severe cholestasis, both hepatocyte and also as the same as in Surgical City. The portal triad, the portal area shows normal and with no ductal damage. This was the difference between the King Surgical and also from King Faisal. So there's no duct damage.
So this is why now this is the impression. This is we explain for the histopathologist. He deny, exclude that bile duct damage, and only going with the severe cholestasis. At this point, they will specify that we are dealing only with hepatitis A cholestatic.
So just we have a small review about positivity of transit positivity for antinuclear antibodies and also anti-small antibody in patient with acute hepatitis A. There's one study from the UK that showed
for the last thing for me, who's with steroid now? They mentioned about steroid initially, and who's with steroid, who's not? only the trophies agree and others.
No more.
Is it getting this is relapsing? I think it's cholestatic hepatitis.
Could be, that's a relapsing possibility, yes, and now that's what. Yes, he denies actually, but we're thinking about, especially the transaminase, not the, it is not that typical acute hepatitis A, but according to the data we have in relapsing, go more cholestatic mixture more than transaminase. He's really, with the follow-up, he's evolving. However, we'll show you now. We reached up to 800, now we reach about 300 something. So he's still involved.
And it's still complaining, I don't see any problem.
So the steroid...
We have prolonged cases of stasis.
Yes, steroid is now strong evidence in that, but we saw it in reports in especially South Asia, and now we will go through it. So thank you for my side.
Just comment, if we go through invasive procedure for just simple hepatitis A, with if you have shown from the beginning that it's hepatitis A, I should request even from other hospitals if it's not available in your institute. Because the patient undergoes a lot of invasive MRCP, biopsy for simple hepatitis A. If it was from the beginning, it was diagnosed.
Yes, you are valid, but I think he's not MRCP, not invasive. First of all, the second thing I told you, we have really didn't have that facility, but believe me, from the beginning you came to the art, we are thinking about cholestatic hepatitis A. But really, I will tell you something, we asked the patient to bring the medication from outside. It would be strange really to ask him to go to bring to do hepatitis A from outside. But however, we have anesthesied now, there is a biopsy, and then with the bile duct damage, we have a strong autoimmune liver disease, we cannot ignore the symptom. So we have any reason really for that.
Convinced with the answer?
Maybe convinced, maybe no.
Who's not convinced? Okay, I will tell you. I mean, to be practical, really, in some hospitals, you perhaps what you see maybe easy tests should be available يعني. But some hospitals it takes days or even weeks. And then we ask all the audience, what is next? Actually, some said liver biopsy. I was waiting for somebody to say, let me see the viral markers. Why not to wait for it? Why you not request it? It was not asked. But after the review, and I think the treating team, they were also misled by the positive autoimmune markers. And they have a point. They want to have another criteria, doing a liver biopsy. It may be just an autoimmune, rather than wait and lose the patient. You want to start early, shoot the steroid. But you are right. Ideally, we should have all the viral markers at hand.
As you mentioned, if you have hepatitis A, from the beginning, go for MRCP or even biopsy.
I will tell you why I'm not convinced. Not only, but I think we should use this. If I'm in this institution that I use liver biopsy, MRCP, many things, this is a very good case to go to the administration and to show this shouldn't happen.
But ideally, we are not accept, and we are reluctant to accept. We are a tertiary hospital. We are reluctant to accept any liver disease because lack of facilities. Things.
But you showed initial hepatitis A and E negative.
Not available.
Sometimes the A.
Because of what the A is negative.
The input NA not available.
Not available. That's why you raised this.
The reagents not available.
That's why I said
anyway, the one who got that.
That's why I said this shouldn't happen. Ideally, it was not.
Liver is negative.
It was what is negative.
Anyway,
that's why my comment is I said shouldn't do liver biopsy before.
I have one comment, please. I want to ask you, how many cases of hepatitis A you saw with total bilirubin more than 800? Nobody saw this. Okay? Here we have rapidly progressive jaundice, total bilirubin more than 800, ANA positive. I think liver biopsy can be done. It's not contraindicated. ANA positive, total bilirubin rapidly progressive, reaching more than 800. We can discuss liver biopsy.
What kind of federation?
Yeah, now we're just a little help. So this is some reports about all cases where the guy is 1 to 6 hepatitis A or acute hepatitis A. They show some transient positive autoimmunity in form of ANA and then smooth muscle. They can be both or one of them. Also, there's autoimmune hepatitis, as we mentioned, following hepatitis A infection. These are reported cases. Also, there's autoimmune hepatitis C, hepatitis A, and another one. And not only this, also there's a case report of hepatitis A vaccine that triggered the autoimmune hepatitis. So now go with about cholestasis or atypical presentation of hepatitis A. This is one of the studies that for 600 patients that they review about the typical presentations of the hepatitis A, and that showed that 5% of the patients. So this is a Korean study for 600 patients with hepatitis A. It showed that 5% of the patients, they will go for the cholestatic features of hepatitis A. Picture of hepatitis C. So most of them they taken the steroids with a good response, and they have a criteria to use it. That's why severe irritability, severe pruritus, and they showed that the steroids came to the value came to the half of the normal presenting value in around 15 days. So without any report of the relapse in hepatitis A. Also, another one case series in the North Korean about the steroid showed the same result of not using the steroid. Just want to see the last slide of some of
I mean, basically the trial is below its first down, basically symptoms, listed, and is, I think, in a more stable right now. We are this trial heavy, it's very well. So the steroid still don't need strong evidence about the steroid, but as we mentioned, there is evidence of the shortening the duration, but it's not applicated. However, there is still a lot of evidence of steroid.
Did you repeat it?
What's the value for
Yes, I want to see what's the trend. It was 640. Is it coming down spontaneously?
That's what we are planning, but I know it's outside our hospital. We cannot. So this is really, he will be on Sunday, inshallah, with us. And then, thank you very much for.
Thank you, Dr. Saeed. Just because running out of time, next case will be presented by Dr. Manhal, your assistant consultant, and then discussion and comments by Dr. Adnan.
So. The presentation will present a short case. It's a 27-year-old male patient, medically free, presented with rectal bleeding for the last 3 months. For the last 4 days, it was severe bleeding with fresh blood in the rectum. No other symptoms, no abdominal pain, constipation, vomiting, or fever. No any alarming symptoms, no chronic disease in the family, no history of smoking or drinking alcohol. Other system is unremarkable, cardiovascular, respiratory, GI, musculoskeletal, all it's unremarkable. Examination, his patient is conscious, oriented, he's pale, not jaundice, no near change. There's vital sign is normal, blood pressure is 125/72, pulse is 87,
Temperature is normal, respiratory rate is normal, saturation is normal, BMI is 21. Other is unremarkable, head and chest, cardiovascular. Abdominal examination by inspection, no skin change, palpitation is normal, PR is negative, perianal area, no fistula or skin tags.
So you mentioned hyperpigmentation.
No, no.
Nothing.
Nothing, no. So this is 27 years, male.
There is no. You mentioned hyperpigmentation.
No. 27 years, rectal bleeding, it's from about 3 months. For 4 days, it's severe rectal bleeding. Differential diagnosis for this presentation. Comment, any question? 27 years.
Mechanism will be not the continuous convenience. Usually anything, like 8 or 5, 6, 10.
The bowel habit is okay. Bowel habit.
There's no constipation, no diarrhea, only rectal bleeding.
The bleeding, it can be post defecation, prior with.
Sometimes post defecation, sometimes mixed with stool. But for the last 4 days, it's clear fresh blood.
We can consider inflammatory bowel disease. We can consider solitary rectal ulcer. We can consider diverticular. We can consider dysplasia. These are the things that are beside the local causes, but which is has to be ruled out.
By PR examination, it was normal. There is no piles, no other reason or clear reason for this bleeding. No. Yes, unremarkable. Was done by GS and the patient was seen by general surgery. It was unremarkable.
Proctoscopy normal.
Yes. No, endoscopy.
Malignancy because the age is not, but we are facing
No. This is by mistake. Lab investigation, the remarkable was hemoglobin, it was 8, MCV 62, white blood cells slightly high, platelet is normal, INR is normal. Biochemistry, liver function is normal, only slightly elevated AST. Kidney function is normal, amylase is normal, bilirubin is normal.
LDH is high.
LDH is high.
We need a scope.
At night, scope.
This colonoscopy is at 10 centimeters from the inner cage. What do you think?
What?
No. This is a polyp.
Multiple deposits.
When there is an ulceration
What?
around it,
Could be.
which goes with
Any other
with
secret?
probably inflammatory cause.
Any other secret lesions?
Yes. This lesion at 13 centimeters. There's 2 large polyps.
Any family history of polyps?
First lesion at 10 centimeters, and this is on 13 centimeters.
Any family history of cemetery?
No family history.
HIV?
HIV done is negative.
Still more polyposis, more up.
Approximate to that.
Could this be an lymphoma because the LDH was also one?
It could be.
Does not look like that.
More polyposis in the ascending.
We'll see.
More
We'll
polyposis.
see.
Only that.
So this is another lesion?
Yes, the first lesion at 10 centimeter, and this is on 13.
We need the biopsy.
This is in 10, and this is in 13.
Any other lesions?
At 15?
This is at 17.
We're talking about
So it's any change in differential diagnosis with these multiple lesions?
But the whole finding.
This is at 25 centimeter, other lesion. 35, other lesion.
family history.
40,
Family history.
no family history.
Have you flap?
No, the number of polyps is not too much. There's only 7 or 8 lesions. There is only small polyps in the central colon. This is multiple lesions. It was normal. Yes, it could be. Yeah, but upper gynecoscopy is normal, so not allowed. Other definition?
Yes.
Yes, other? What? What's triggers? Yes, but there is no skin lesion. No, it's negative. No skin lesion.
Mentioned any others?
No family history.
Could it be cancer? Adeno?
Could be IBD, cervicalitis with soda polyps or
These 3 months. Because you mentioned the short
Because
history.
was normal in between.
There's a long history of
Yes.
IBD.
Yes.
The history, is it only few months?
Only 3 months. This rectal bleeding, but 4 days it was severe rectal bleeding. No. TI is normal.
So what is next?
Biopsy. What is the biopsy? This is torture.
The first lesion. We talk about the differential. We took biopsy. Tumor markers was negative. This is the histopath.
What's the
What do you think?
كله lymphocyte.
What is this?
I don't know.
What's the diagnosis?
This is
It has been brought to the medical field.
They failed or passed?
They all fail. But their score is similar to our score.
Yes, this is the age of schistosomiasis. Back up to the labs, the eosinophilic it was high and repeated many times and it was high. Eosinophilia is about 22%. This is the histology. Even the ascending polyp was schistosomiasis. What's next?
What's nationality? What's the nationality?
Sudan. Sudan. What's next? Treatment. What's the treatment? Patient given plasmid 40 mg per kg and divided 2 doses. 2 months later, no bleeding at all. Hemoglobin improved to 11.5, but colonoscopy done 6 months later, the same finding, same lesions. But what's
why we shouldn't exclude other causes of immunity from Mars condition? And is this hyperacute presentation of schistosomiasis?
No need. Schistosomiasis can present as already HIV is negative. Yes. No. It's healthy.
But what happened after
After breast quarantine, no symptoms at all. Hemoglobin improved to 11.5.
Is it without transfusion?
Without any transfusion. We did for him the colonoscopy, check if there's healing, still there's lesion, still the same finding, not improve the lesion itself.
What about this reverse?
It's a need polypectomy for this lesion. There's any risk for cancer? We give.
If I need it, I think
The reactions of the
I will do at least 2 or 3 polypectomies just to make sure I'm not missing any other.
Yes, actually we did about 5 or 6 polypectomy, polyps section, and it was negative for malignancy, also schistosomiasis.
Should slough with that.
What?
Should slough with that.
We don't know. This is the life cycle of schistosomiasis. This is the tube, and this is the egg. There's many case reports about chronic schistosomiasis. It's not too much. There's one case report in 2014. Schistosomiasis manifesting as a colon polyp. There's also a case.
It's the same with aggravations.
Yes.
You then created the tubian.
Yeah, the same.
You created polyps with and hamartomas.
Even treated with plasmodium and totally improved. There is one case report in 2017, benign rectal polyp with schistosoma. 2017 also another case report, Nigerian patient. One case in 2018, schistosomiasis as a single chronic polyp. But there's no case reports about this multiple lesion or large polyps or large masses as this our patient.
We presented one case 2 years ago.
Yes, there's one patient.
Committing as priest. It was an Egyptian patient with rectosigmoid colon polyposis.
Actually, because there's a little number of
we did not publish
cases.
yet, unfortunately, but we presented that 15 years ago.
There's a few cases, and there's no clear workup if there's a need polypectomy for all of these lesions or no need. There's a risk for cancer or there's no risk. So we try to, they recommend by experts to retreat Squantil again with high dose, 60 milligram per kg, and check if there's healing. Nobody knows need polypectomy or not.
What about the liver? Affected or not?
No, nothing at liver. Ultrasound is normal, no sign of portal hypertension or schistosomiasis.
Just a comment about the presence of this type of polyps. Dr. Ibrahim Mustafa, our colleague from Egypt, all of you know him. He presented his course one patient with big tumor, 8 centimeters at that time, like 2008, like that. And it was, of course, obstructing the lumen. What he did the biopsy, and he promised to do later on the bulk of this tumors. It is already fibrosis, so nothing happening. But I don't need even to do anything in these cases. But if there is really anatomical problem or obstruction, splenectomy is the option for this patient. If there is cases.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I didn't want the third. No, it's up to you. Maybe 5-6 minutes. It's a very rare case.
The only thing that will add, please
Next time. Yes.
usually we do the serology for the somacy and we repeat twice again and we will find that the titer is going down. If there is any lesion, leave it alone. If only bleeding, you can attack it by whatever you have. But it will not happen.
Yeah, but serology it may take maybe years.
Yes, but it goes down.
Yes.
It goes down. It's only the trend. The trend of the.
By this we conclude. I'd like to thank all of you, and we thank also Janssen for sponsoring this meeting. Yes.
After that case, take 5 minutes.
نتشاور معه طيب. It's very nice. You go very
Yes, why not? Because actually next year for
just 5 minutes.
It's
Just
next year.
a quiz maybe.
Go ahead.
So just we have a very short case. Victor Mohammed Shawki, assistant consultant. Yes, we go there. Assistant.
Omitted the title, so it will be short or more. It's a 57 years old man who was referred to us from bariatric department for pre-bariatric assessment. The patient is known to have hypertension, uncontrolled diabetes, and hypercholesterolemia. Patient has no complaint at all. Patient has no past history of chronic liver disease, no pancreatitis, ischemic heart disease, or bronchial asthma. The patient is not alcoholic. No past history of surgical interventions. Family history is unremarkable. On clinical examination, vital stable. Patient was well conscious, oriented, no jaundice, no pallor, no lymphadenopathy, no stigmata of chronic liver disease. His BMI was 37 kg per square meter. Chest, cardiovascular abdomen is unremarkable. The patient was scheduled before routine endoscopy. So this is an investigation. CBC is normal. Okay, biochemistry only hyperlipidemia and elevated glucose. Thyroid functions is normal, parathyroid normal, vitamins are normal, even screening for virology is normal. So we did endoscopy, this is the cardia, then this is the fungus. With this, surprisingly, we found this lesion. This is another picture. This is more panorama picture. This is the antrum, this is the duodenal bulb, and this is the report. So, what's the differential in this?
Let's see again.
This is the fungus. Patient is totally normal, has no complaint, and has no previous hematemesis, no melena, nothing like that. Is this normal finding? No. This is the same patient, same picture.
Esophagus is normal.
Yes, totally normal. No bending? Normal, but I didn't include the pictures. So, yes, there is congested mucosa, and there is prominent veins. I don't know, we can label it as fungal varices or no. Yes, it's a serpiginous network of dilated fungal varices.
Maybe hypertensive gastropathy.
Yes, it's clear. Here, mucosa is congested. This is stigmata of a big PHG. Okay?
I think you were biased.
So what recommendation? What next? What will do for this patient? Yes, CT scan.
Ultrasound.
So what do you want to roll out? What do you want to do? Splenic vein thrombosis.
And pancreatic lesion.
And pancreatic lesion, yes. Anything else? Yeah, because it's isolated gastric varices.
Even
These
cirrhosis.
are the most common causes.
Even cirrhosis.
And liver cirrhosis. Can give a
Thrombosis,
gastric without esophageal. Maybe sometimes. Okay,
So we actually we did CT diet, and we did go for CT, and CT was, this is the picture. Any comment?
So what do you? So we can tell about this. Pancreas is normal. Pancreas is normal. The liver is normal. There is a little cholesterol, but there is no thrombosis. No thrombosis. So.
What? No, actually the liver is normal size, spleen is normal size, pancreas is normal. Okay, only there is collaterals around the splenic hilum. Okay. Next, there is collateral around the splenic hilum and the fundus of the stomach. Okay. This is part of splenic artery. Splenic artery, which is tortuous like this. Okay, but we cannot visualize splenic vein. Still, we cannot visualize splenic vein. Okay, and this is splenomesenteric vein, which is not connected to splenomesenteric vein, which is not visualized still. Okay, this is surgical view, normal spleen, and this is video. I actually ask our radiologist to comment on this video. I don't know if it's clear or not.
Clear. No, the sound is clear. Sound. No sound.
Okay, I will comment. Our colleague in radiology department tried to follow the course of the splenic vein, but actually he didn't find the splenic vein actually totally absent splenic vein. Okay, no evidence of thrombosis, no heaviness around the spleen or mesenteric stranding, so no evidence of presence of spleen from the start. So he labeled him as agenesis of splenic vein, absence of splenic vein. Congenital absence of splenic vein. Okay? Another video. We can follow the splenic artery. This is the part of the splenic artery, but he cannot follow splenic vein. This is the splenic artery here. We can follow the splenic artery till the splenomesenteric artery.
So he diagnosed him as absent splenic vein or congenital absence of splenic vein. It's the cause of this collaterals and including the gastric varices. He couldn't find out any thrombosis.
Usually it should present earlier, but 57 years.
He is asymptomatic. Even now, he presents without any symptoms. He is coming just for pre-bariatric endoscopy.
This is contraindication.
This is routine. Huh? Is it now change the indication for bariatric surgery? No, this is, we'll leave it for the surgeon.
I discussed already.
Why? It has been reported that it is very rare syndrome, but
This is the report. Absence of splenic vein with increased collateral vascularity at the splenic hilum and gastric fundus area. Okay. So after extensive search on the PubMed and Google's Scholar, we did find only 2 reported cases. This is one. Okay, isolated gastric varices due to congenital agenesis of splenic vein. This patient presented with hematemesis and medina.
How old?
This patient was around 67 years old. presented with melena and routine injection was done for this patient, and patient survived and started after 7 days.
They developed an area like.
And this is the picture of this patient, 7 years old. As you see here, it's less extensive than our case. This is his recommendation and conclusion. Isolated gastric varices usually differ with patient with portal hypertension, liver cirrhosis, and splenic vein thrombosis. However, isolated gastric varices due to congenital agenesis of the splenic vein has not been reported in literature, and possibility should be kept in mind. It was in 2009. Another one, congenital abscess of splenic artery and splenic vein accompanied with duodenal ulcer and deformity. This one developed leading from duodenal ulcer, and incidentally they find the fundal varices, but picture was not clear, so I didn't include this one.
The age is, I think, around 60s.
This one was 60s.
60.
Okay? This is the references of the two cases. Thank you. Yes.
Beta blockers?
Beta blockers?